Okay, Rabbi say we just finished the first paragraph on page Kuf Yud. We were hurrying last time. I just want to point out one thing. It's not directly related to the message of the Mesilas Yesharim, but it's a geschmack. I think you'll appreciate it. The Mesilas Yesharim had been discussing the case of Kamto Bar Kamto, where a animal was sent with the mum to the Beis HaMikdash, and the Kayan there was too big of a chassid, and he wouldn't allow that animal to be nikrav on the Mizbeach, which caused the government in Rome to get angry, which ultimately led to the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. And the Mesilas Yesharim used that as an example that sometimes there's such a thing as being too frum. Sometimes there's such a thing as being too makbid on things, or too much of a chassid in an area where you think that you're acting in the best interests of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, but when it blows up and it has negative ramifications, you see that obviously was not what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted. This is the big lesson that sometimes in life, a person has to be, if you want to be a chassid, it's not enough to just go to do anything that comes up, any minig, anything, like you just a run to do. You have to be able to be thoughtful and see what's going to happen if I do that. How things going to turn out? How am I going to react to it? How are other people going to react to it? What are the results? What are the reactions to what I'm doing? But in the process, the Mesilas Yesharim brought a lashain. It's v'hu ma she'amar Rabbi Yochanan al zeh, like the last 5 lines of the paragraph on Kuf Yud. V'hu ma she'amar Rabbi Yochanan al zeh, and the sanusay shel Rabbi Zechariah, that the tzidkus, the overt tzidkus of Rabbi Zechariah, hechriva es beisenu, it destroyed our home, meaning the Beis HaMikdash. V'sarfa es heichaleinu, and it burned our heichal, which is also the Beis HaMikdash. Don't they both mean the same thing? Destroyed our Beis HaMikdash and burned our Beis HaMikdash? What is it? You're just trying to be extra wordy for no reason? What's the point of that? And you find this in several Gemaras, you find this idea. And Daf Gimel in Masechta Brachos, you find also, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Oy la'av, that, that had to be Sayrif as Beisa, it had to be Machriv as Beisa, and Sayrif as Eichaloi. So the pshat is, what some Mefarshim say, and it's a good thing to know, because it brings out a certain dimension of the Beis HaMikdash. The pshat is that there are 2 elements of the Beis HaMikdash. There's the physical building, and there's the Hashras HaShchina. There's the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu rests his Shchina there. Like, for example, when the Sfarim tell us that when Titus came, Titus was the Roman general that destroyed the Beis HaMikdash. When Titus came, Titus, when he came and destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, how is it possible? How is it possible that a guy could go into Hashem's house and destroy it? Like, how's such a thing possible? So Chazal say, Kimcha Tchina Tachin. Chazal say he ground flour. It's not so hard to grind ground flour. It's already ground. So that's what Chazal say. Once HaKadosh Baruch Hu removes his Shechina, it falls like a house of cards. Titus came and actually lit fire to it, but that's not what destroyed it. What destroyed it was whatever the events on our end that happened that led to its destruction. That's what led HaKadosh Baruch Hu to remove his protection. Once Hashem removes his protection, it falls on its own. That's why when we talk about building the Beis HaMikdash, you'll find a lot of double lashonos. Like most famously, Nachamu, Nachamu Ami. Right? When we talk about the cancellation of Yerushalayim, it's a Nechama and Nechama. Because the building of Eretz Yisrael, the building of Yerushalayim comes in 2 stages. HaKadosh Baruch Hu returns his Shechina, and then the physical building is built. And it's very, very important. And you find this a lot, this concept that there's the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash and there's the removal of the Shechina. You find that a lot, those 2 different those two different parts of dealing with the Beis Hamikdash. So, for example, it says over here that it destroyed our home from the inside. It made HaKadosh Baruch Hu remove his Shechina, and Memela v'sarfa esei chaleinu, and therefore the Beis Hamikdash was burned. You know, if you go through davening, you find a lot of different examples of it. Like in benching, we ask Hashem, Uvenei Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh B'meira. Build Yerushalayim. Right? No. I'll show you another lashon. But in davening, we don't say build Yerushalayim at first. We say two stages. We say V'Yerushalayim Ircha B'Rachamim Tashuv. Hashem, please return to Yerushalayim. Then we say Uvenei Oisa and build it. See the two ends? It's an interesting thing. I wonder if it comes up in tomorrow's Slichas, which Michelle is so looking forward to. Sfardim loves Slichas. Right? Where's Asara B'Davis?
It's fun to go like once a week. It's fun to go like once a week or once every 2 weeks.
Oh, it's not here.
This year I wake up 5 o'clock every day. School at 8 o'clock. Yeah, I'm always good. And I went to bed for 5 weeks.
It's not here. It's in the Slichas of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Let me see if I can remember it by heart. There's a Slichas where we switch back and forth with two different choruses. It slipped my mind, but look for this in davening. You'll find very often different discussions. Sometimes a discussion of building Yerushalayim, sometimes a discussion of returning the Shechina to Yerushalayim. I'll tell you something else that's it's coming back to me. Oh, I got it. There's one of the slichas on Yamim Naraim, around Aseres Yimei Tshuva, is it goes back and forth between V'hashev Shvus Al Yaakov V'hishienu L'man Shemecha, to return the tents of Yaakov to Eretz Yisrael, V'hishienu, and save us L'man Shemecha. That's bringing Eretz Yisrael back, physically bringing Eretz Yisrael back to Yerushalayim. That's like building Yerushalayim. And then the other one is V'shuv Berachamim El She'eretz Yisrael, return with compassion. You, Hashem, return with compassion to Klal Yisrael. One is bring back the people, the other is Hashem, you come back. That's another example of two sides. Okay? But I'll teach you a little bit of a trick about the davening, okay? You will always find that we say that Hashem should build Yerushalayim or bring Klal Yisrael back, L'man Shemai, for your name. For your name, meaning, because that's a Kiddush Hashem, when Klal Yisrael is back in Eretz Yisrael. But whenever we talk about the Shechina coming back, we say Berachamim. Why? Let me first explain why, then I'll prove to you that it's true. Okay? The reason is as follows. For Klal Yisrael to be in Galus is a Chilul Hashem. We tell the Goyim that Hashem is the true Hashem, that Hashem Elokei Yisrael Melech. We announce to the world that the God of Israel is the true God. Well, he doesn't look very powerful when his people are scattered to all four corners of the earth, right? Imagine if Mashiach would come and with massive siyata d'shmaya and nisim, we would march back to Eretz Yisrael and live in Eretz Yisrael in security. That would be a Kiddush Hashem. So whenever we talk about bringing Mashiach or bringing Klal Yisrael home or building Yerushalayim, we talk about Laman Shemoi. Like even the beginning of Shemay Esrei, Umevi Goyel of Nevanayim, Laman Shemoi. Right? He brings a redeemer. That's a redeemer that's going to bring us back to Eretz Yisrael. But the Goyim don't know if Hashem's presence is here or not. They don't see that deeply. They just see if we're in Eretz Yisrael, if we're not in Eretz Yisrael. To bring Hashem's presence back, that we need Hashem's compassion. So we say, V'li Yerushalayim Ircha, B'rachamim Tashuv. We don't say Laman Shemai. We say B'rachamim Tashuv. And in the Slichas also, when we're talking to Hashem, we say V'shuv B'rachamim El She'eretz Yisrael. Hashem, you return with compassion to Klal Yisrael. When we're talking about bringing Klal Yisrael back, well, that's a public thing. So we say Hashev Shvus Al Yaakov V'Yishienu Leman Shemecha, because that's what's public in the eyes of the nations. So to daven for Kiddush Hashem, that brings Klal Yisrael back to Eretz Yisrael. To daven for Hashras Hashchina, that the Shechina should be here, that we need Hashem's Rachmanis. You find it all over. Check the Shalosh Regalim davening. You find it all over. When we talk about Barachamim, we're asking Hashem to come back. When we talk about Laman Shemai, we're asking Him to bring us back. It's a good rule to know, right? Okay. So one example. The Mesilas Yesharim goes on to give one example. And the example is as follows. Hine ha-Torah tzivsa. The Torah commanded, Hoicheach toichiach es amisecha. The Torah commanded us to give each other musar. Right? We have an obligation to rebuke someone who's doing the wrong thing. What? Like Rav Moshe Feinstein Friday night, right? We have a mitzvah to rebuke someone who's doing the wrong thing. To tell them, I think you could do it better. I think you should do it different. But often a person will go to give musar to sinners in a place or a time she'ein devarav nishma'im, that his words would not be heard. Right? We know that this can happen sometimes. If someone's doing something wrong and you pick the wrong time or the wrong place, let's say in public, to give him musar, not only will it not work, but what's going to happen? The opposite is going to happen. The geirim lahem, it causes them lehisparetz yoser berisham, that they explode more with their wickedness. If you push too far, they'll explode with their wickedness. Ulechalel Hashem, and to be mechal shem shemayim, ulehoisif al chatasam pesha, and to add more averos, because they'll want to show you up. They'll want to reject what you're saying. What's example of Chasidus? If you see someone doing something wrong, and you know that if you say something, they will do even more wrong, then Chasidus is to be silent, right? That's a thoughtful Chasidus. In a situation like that, the only action of Chasidus is ela lishtaik, is to be silent. So sometimes the chassid is getting up on a chair and screaming, everyone do tshuva. And sometimes the chassid is not saying a single word. There's no rule of Chasidus. The chassid has to be thoughtful and know what's the right way for me to act today. The kach amru zechrein levracha geshem she mitzvah loymar davar anishma. Just like it's a mitzvah to say that which is heard, kach mitzvah shaloi loymar es she'enoi nishma. So too, it's a mitzvah not to say something that will not be heard. Okay, so there's many, many examples of that, but this is one example from the Mesilas Yesharim. Sometimes we give strong musar, and sometimes we're silent. And both of them could be chasidus, as long as your agenda is, what will Hashem have more nachas from?